for the 50th time. Hello in TV Land. Alors bonsoir et bienvenue à une 50e épisode de Vintage Kids. Welcome to a 50th Vintage Kids episode of this imaginary podcast that came out of nowhere. But nowhere is a good place to be when you're nowhere. Alors, ce soir, nous sommes à la 50e épisode. So tonight we're at the 50th episode. Can you believe it? I know I can. Tonight we're not going to talk about much of any kind of weird stuff. Aaron Moffat is in the house. Thank you very much on your congrats on 50. I really appreciate this. Again, we are live on my personal Facebook page. We are live on Yoda's Workshop Facebook group. And we are also live on YouTube on the Yoda's Workshop YouTube channel. What are we going to talk about tonight? Well, I thought I should tell you a story of it. Donc, je me suis dit, de qu'est-ce qu'on va parler pendant le 50e? Je dis, je vais vous montrer des photos. Ah, non, fuck it, là. Lovely it, là. Let's do a why. Why? Yeah, why? So, if you're not interested in knowing why this podcast exists, well, you can go watch something else. That's okay with me, because, I'm doing this for fun. I'm not expecting to do always something that people will go, oh, this is so amazing, man. Because, you know that the writers are on strike. Well, I'm a writer, because I write what I say in my head. And I'm not on strike, but I don't get paid for it. So, the quality is like, but the sound is good. Donc, ce que je racontais là in the English, donc c'est ça. Hein? Ce qu'on va faire aujourd'hui, on va parler de pourquoi. Hein? Pourquoi? C'est une bonne question, ça, le pourquoi. Si c'est pas quelque chose qui vous intéresse, je le comprends, c'est correct. Il se passe plein de bonnes choses à la télévision, là, comme, tu sais, là, bon, ben, hey, là, allez regarder ça, là, les feux, là, qui étaient mis en place, là, par le gouvernement, c'est grave, là, mon Dieu, là, tout le monde va brûler à cause du gouvernement. J'embarquerai même pas là-dedans, hein? Moi, je veux ma liberté. Bon, je vais juste laisser ça, là. Je veux ma liberté de faire des feux où je veux, quand je veux, puis comment je veux. Aussi. Fait que c'est ça. Viens-t'en, on s'en va à Ottawa. Embarque dans mon pick-up imaginaire, là. On va embarquer dans le Razor Crest, aussi. Pourquoi pas? Hi, guys. Good to see you. It's Matt Dufton, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome aboard for the 50th time. So, yeah. We're not going to talk about Star Wars tonight. We're not going to talk about forest fire tonight. We're not going to talk about my dog that is sleeping on my foot. I'm going to tell you why this thing, why you're watching this, where it came from. So, I'm going to tell you a story tonight. So, get your NyQuil ready. If you want to fall asleep faster. But that's what I'm going to do. So, yeah. First of all, this was not planned. And I'm not talking about this 50th episode, because it was not either. But the creation or the Vintage Kids was not something that I did full time in advance. Donc, c'est pas quelque chose qui était prévu. Again, I'm going to do my best to do it in French and in English. For the English people, you guys had a French course for free. Can you imagine? You have 50 French course for free. Like, great words that you have to use if you ever go to France or Canada. Like, oh, fuck. See, look. We use that word too. So, you're bilingual, man. Like parking. Où est-ce que t'as mis ton char? Dans le parking. See, you understand something. Yeah, you know that I'm talking about a parking. A char, c'est quoi un char? It's a car. Char, car, it's almost the same thing. Anyway. So, okay. So, French Canadian courses every week. For free. No, okay. So I'm going to tell you a story, and I'm not going to tell that story for you guys saying, oh, poor Fat Phil. That's so sad. I'm not doing this for that. I really want to talk about the reason why this thing exists. Okay. So, very quick, but very slow. Like I always say to my girlfriend, it's going to be very quick, but very slow at the same time. And I'm talking about making food, you know. Okay. Again, this episode is brought to you by. It's not. Okay. So, what happened? How come this thing happened? Comment ça se fait que c'est arrivé? Hein? Pourquoi? Hein, là, comme j'ai dit, c'est important le pourquoi. Back in the days, back in the a very long time ago, in a country far, far away, Canada, a little boy was born. No. Okay, so probably a few of you guys know what I do for a living. Well, what I used to do for a living, I work in a college. I've been working in a college for the last 30 years. And over here they called it cégep. It's like high school. Like people are so high. No. And I've been working there for a very long time since since I was 17. And what I generally used to do, I took care of production, video production. So I shot many stuff. I filmed thousands of videos. I produce a lot of stuff. So if you go check Collège Montmorency on YouTube, you're going to see a lot of what I did in the last 20 years. Why? Because I'm a Star Wars fan. You're going to say, what's the point? What do you mean? Donc, qu'est-ce que je fais dans la vie? Je fais des vidéos pour le Collège Montmorency. J'ai fait ça depuis que j'ai 17 ans. Je travaille là depuis que j'ai 17 ans. 30 ans que je travaille là. Whatever. Donc, qu'est-ce que je fais? Je m'occupe de la production vidéo. J'ai fait des centaines, peut-être même des milliers de vidéos promotionnelles, toutes sortes d'affaires, filmer des shows, bon, whatever. Puis là, voici, tu t'en vas avec ça. So, that's one of my jobs. That's my main job. Back in the day, I had 5 jobs. I used to work at Montreal Canadiens. I used to work on eBay. I used to work on my company, video production company. Anyway, so what happened in 2019? So just before the pandemic, I was working with one of my friends, two of my friends, and one of my friends was releasing a CD. So he asked me if I was available to go shoot that show that he was doing for his CD release. And I said, of course. So I got there and everything went great, except after I think 5 or 6 songs, I've lost consciousness. So that's where it all started. So you say, oh, you're telling me this. Well, I'm explaining where Vintage Kids is coming from. So I've lost consciousness in the middle of the show, okay? Donc, I'm going to say it in French. Donc, en 2019, pendant l'été, au mois de juillet, deux de mes amis qui m'appellent, ils ont besoin de moi, ils me demandent de filmer leur lancement d'album. Pas de problème, je me pointe là, tout va bien. Puis après 4-5 tunes, je perds conscience. Je lovely le camp à terre et bye-bye, Phil is gone. So I've lost consciousness in the middle of the show, and I was shooting. I was the only camera in the middle of this place, and everything fell on me, and I was gone. I woke up. I regained consciousness at about I don't know, 5 minutes, 2, 3 minutes after, and I didn't know what happened. And people were scared because they thought I had a brain or something or whatever. So they called up the ambulance. Ambulance showed up, took me to the hospital because my heart was like going nuts. So they were afraid it was my heart. Anyway, so went there, spent the night at the hospital. Everything was okay. They sent me back home. Said, okay, we don't know what happened, but have a great life, sir. I said, all right, see you around. So that was during my vacation from college. So I went back to work about 2 weeks after that, and then I started to. I wasn't feeling great at all. I like weird sensation, weird symptoms, and I'm not gonna go through this, but I thought that when I fell, because I was pretty high when I fell on the floor, I thought I hurt my neck because I was always dizzy. And I was like, oh my God, I don't feel so good. And 16 years ago, I think it was the last time I took something legal. I don't drink alcohol. I sometimes wine, but I don't drink. I don't take drugs. So I really thought, okay, that's weird. Probably I moved something in my neck, and that's why, because my neck was hurting, my head was hurting, and I was really, really dizzy and didn't feel well at all. So, donc c'est ça. Je suis retourné travailler, je suis passé une nuit à l'hôpital, ils m'ont dit, tout est beau, va-t'en chez vous, je sais pas ce qui est arrivé. Bienvenue au Québec, ben oui, hein. Fait que j'ai dit, c'est correct, moi si tu me dis que je suis correct, je m'en vais chez vous, puis je m'en vais chez nous, pas chez vous, je m'en vais chez nous, puis je te crois. Je suis retourné travailler, puis là, commençais à avoir des feelings que j'avais jamais eu. C'est comme, qu'est-ce que Marie, man, prends pas de drogue, moi, je prends pas d'alcool. J'étais un petit gars très gentil, là. Je mange beaucoup, mais je suis très gentil, pareil. Fait que là, je pensais que je m'étais comme fait mal dans le cou parce que quand je suis tombé de haut, là. Fait que je m'en vais voir pour faire checker mon cou. I went to see someone that could check my neck just to make sure that everything was like okay. And they said, "Oh, we're not going to touch you before you go talk to your doctor." I said, "Okay." And that I talked about that last week. That was like on a Monday, and I was leaving on a Friday for the ICCC. So showed up at my doctor and said, "Oh man, I need to have a paper for me to go check from you to go check my neck because I think I moved something and I don't feel well." And I told my doctor what happened, and I told him about my symptom. He said, "Oh no, you're heading to the hospital to check your brain." I said, "What the lovely are you talking about?" I said, "And by the way, if I were you, don't leave the country." I said, "Why?" I said, "You're not going to be, the insurance won't cover you because we don't know what you've got and you have symptoms." I said, "Oh man, are you fucking kidding me? Are you lovely kidding me, sir?" So I had to cancel my ICCC trip. Anyway, I'm not going to go into this. So, again, so that was like in September, it was August 2019. So I go there, they check my brain, I get a scan. I don't know the names in English. CD scan, I don't know. And I was really worried because the symptoms were not going away. And now I was getting very worried because my doctor was saying, "You better check your brain." So, I know I have all kinds of weird dreams at night. En tout cas, le docteur m'en va me faire un CT scan de mon cerveau. Hey, merci, man! C'est André Gendron, mesdames et messieurs! Oh oh! Ben là, tu vois, gars, tu dis old fart, hein? J'aime ça parce que, tu vois, si j'arrive, là, je viens ici, là. Hein? Oups, c'est où, là? C'est-tu ici? Oui, c'est là, regarde. C'est moi! Old Fart, CEO of Farts! That's me! Anyway, so anyway, I go, and like I said, the pandemic was like starting, and so stuff were really slow. It's already slow over here, by the way. Everybody say, "You live in Canada, everything is free." Yeah, but it takes long to get services, unless it's like really, really urgent. But when they don't know what you've got, you're gonna wait, man. So anyway, I'm not gonna go through everything, but just to give you an idea, a few months later, we received the results, and I sit down with my girlfriend, and I'm really nervous, and the doctor says, "Oh, don't worry, don't worry." So he opens the result, and he says, "Oh." I said, "Oh, it's never good when your doctor says, oh, unless like you're dropping your pants and you have a huge leg." Oh, which is not my case. I have 2 huge legs. Non, c'est jamais bon quand ton docteur fait oh. Puis là, ben, il a fait oh. Fait que là, oh, oh. Là, j'ai dit, ouais, qu'est-ce qu'il y a? Il dit, they found something inside your brain. I said, what is it? Is it my car keys? Because I've been looking for them for several weeks. I don't drive a car. Oh, yeah. Il dit, c'est quoi? Fait que là, ils disent, c'est un kiss. It's like a tumor. But it's not a tumor. We don't know what it is, but it might not be the reason why you're feeling that way. So I was like, okay. So my anxiety level should be here, and it raised already over here when I didn't know what I had, and now they're telling me I've got something in my brain, and they don't know what it is. So it went there. So they took me out of work on September 12th, 2019. Said, "You're not going to work." I said, "Okay." And it's like, people will say, "Oh, good, you've got a vacation." Man, trust me, with the symptoms, it's far from being vacation. Fait que c'est comme, ah, cool, tu vas arrêter de travailler, tu vas être en vacances. Chris, avec les symptômes, c'est pas des vacances. Anyway, so this guy, the doctor, which is a great doctor, I've been a very long doctor for all of my life, says, we're going to send you see a neurologist for your brain because you've got something inside that we don't know what it is. And we're going to go make a real complete scan of your brain. I said, what about all the porn that I've watched? They'll be able to see it. So I've waited, I don't know, it was on March. So from September to March, that's a long time, man. Not knowing what's in your brain and not knowing if it's something like cancer or something that you might die of. It's lovely scary. So in March, I finally have that meeting with that neurologist. But it was the beginning of the pandemic. It's like 1 week before everything shut down. So this neurologist, this lady said, okay, so we're going to send you make a full scan of your brain to see what it is, but we don't really know what you've got. Say, oh, right, thanks, man. That's going to help me. They put me on pills so I can calm down. Yeah, I mean, over here, when it rains, people over in Quebec, they just give you pills. I'm afraid of the rain now, sir. Yeah, keep taking your pills. Anyway, so I've waited, I don't remember how long, and I finally got my first MRI of my brain. But again, it was during the pandemic, so like we had to wear that full shit stuff, and it was pretty complicated. And anyway, I go there. I don't know what I've got. I'm worried. I'm not working. My family's freaking out. I'm freaking out. My mother's freaking out. My dad's freaking out. Everyone's freaking out. I just missed. It would be scary. Dans l'épisode 100, Phil, on va parler de la rupture de ton gros tendon. Ouais, hostie, man. Parle-moi pas de mon crise de tendon. So Jim is in the house. Andre is in the house. Greg Marshall is in the house. Anyway, I don't want to make this a hospitals general hospital special edition. Mais donc c'est ça. Fait que so just trying to make it as short as possible. Uh, I received the first result from my MRI, and I've been waiting like several months, and the results are in, and well, and the neurologist tells me, yeah, you're gonna have to go back. I mean, back to the future. He said, no, back to the MRI and do another one. I said, why? Well, we don't have a great result. Did I fail the test? Is it the French or maths? But I had to go back. I said, are you lovely kidding me, man? I have to go back? Oh, yeah, we don't have everything that we needed. What the hell do you need more? I was in a lovely tube for 45 minutes. Anyway, uh, yeah, it's very personal, but Jim and Ian, nice to see you. And I want to talk about it because it's the reason why the vintage kids exist. And I want to talk about it because I think it's important. And a lot of you guys from other groups that knows me and from the ICCC gang or the MMC gang, you guys know that I wasn't able to go out there and meet you all. And I don't talk about this to everyone, but I think it's important. And since it's the 50th, I have to tell that story because it's my story and it's the story of the vintage kids. Anyway, I received the one side of the brain at a time. For me, it's one day at a time, man. Sometimes it's one bottle of water at a time. I had to go pee a lot. Okay, so I received, and they said you have to go back. I said, okay, am I going back like tomorrow? I said, oh, we're gonna call you back. When? I've waited like months for the first one, and I waited months for the results. Don't worry. I said, okay. Of course I'm not worrying. I'm taking pills so I don't worry. Are you afraid of something, Phil? Who's Phil, man? uh, Peeing a lot comes with age. Yeah, it does, man. And when you sit down on the toilet and you feel the water, it's not. You're getting old, man. Or the bowl is filling up too fast. Oh my god! And you guys are gonna know why how much I love to do this and I love to talk with you guys. Anyway, ok. Fait que je reçois les premiers résultats. On n'est pas sûr, faut vous recommencer. Bon, ok. Là, moi, je sais toujours pas qu'est-ce que j'ai. Là, hey, on attend. And we wait, and finally they're calling me back. All right, you got several months later. Keep in mind that's during the pandemic, so everything is slow. It's usually very slow, but now it's like going backwards. Anyway, so I go there for a second time, and I remember my doctor asked me, my personal doctor asked me, he said, did you receive that shot? I said, what shot? They were supposed to shoot me where? In the ass? I don't know. He said, yeah, when you do the MRI, you're supposed to have that shot so they can see stuff in your brain. I said, no, nobody gave me a shot unless I don't remember. So he said, oh, that's weird. Okay, but I mean, it's the pandemic. Everything's weird. So I go there a second time, and keep in mind, again, everything is like shut down. There's like no one in the hospitals. I have to go there during my second time was at 3 o'clock in the morning, and you have to go there and like nearly not touching the walls and think. First of all, when you're in pandemic, the worst place you want to be, it's in a hospital, because you know you're gonna die if you don't have that shit. You're gonna get something there, because where is everybody's dying going? Well, to the hospital. Oh, people are showing up even more. Ian, Andre, P comes with age, man. Oh yeah. I'm probably again. I'm live on several as I usual, but don't necessarily see all the comments. Keep in mind, I would take a few shots. Okay, so I show up for a second time, and I sit down and getting my night, my little fancy thing ready, and I say to this guy, the technician, it's 3 o'clock in the morning. I said, all right, is it gonna take 45 minutes or is it gonna be shorter? Because they just told me that you've missed the spot, like an important one. He's no, you have to do the whole thing again. It's like, geez, okay. And 45 minutes again. And as soon as I come out of the tube, the guy is standing and he says, "You're gonna have to come back, sir." I said, "What? I just came back today. It's my second time. It's like in like 7 months." "Yeah, but there's a problem." "You're telling me there's a problem and we're in the hospital? Really?" And he says, "Yeah, we forgot to give you the shots." I said, "What?" He says, "Yeah, you're supposed to have that shot so we can see the detail in your brain." I said, "Okay. And you forgot that again?" He said, "Yeah, well, the first time, it's not because we were missing information, it's because they didn't give you the shot you needed." I said, "Jesus, what? And you're telling me you did that again?" He says, "Yeah, well, there's supposed to be a doctor and a nurse, but since it's the pandemic, there's no one that can take care of you." I said, "Why are you booking me then?" So, "Yeah, you would have to come back during the day." "Why is it 3 o'clock in the morning?" Anyway. uh, anyway, so it's not really a bunch of morons. It's like I think it was like everybody was like going crazy with the pandemic. Keep in mind that was in 2020. So in 2019 to 2020. So it was in the middle of the worst part of it. Nobody knew what was going on. People were dying. They didn't know how bad this really was. And there was no shots. We thought maybe it would be a vaccine and whatever. I'm not going to talk about the pandemic, but you've been there. You know what it was. So I should probably wear a mask. Anyway, so they send me back home again. So I said, so I did this for nothing. He said, "Well, we're going to call you back again." When? Not in 6 months again. I mean, I still don't know what I've got, and I'm still living with the symptoms, and I'm not going to go through them, but they're nuts. So, oh no, don't worry. We're going to call you back in a day or two. Oh, okay. So I slept with my phone, and don't tell my wife. And they never called back. They called back like 3 months later, and it's the neurologist. I said, "Oh, okay. So you're calling me back. So what's going on?" And she says, yeah." Oh, that's never good. The first hole from the doctor is bad, but yeah, that's another sound you don't want to hear from a doctor. Probably worse when it's a neurologist. Yeah. So she says, "Yeah, well, we don't really know. We're gonna send your files to another hospital." So what? I'm ready to go to make the MRI right now. I've been wearing my jaquette, my hospital suit for the last 3 months, ready to go during the night, during the day. Even I'm gonna come riding a helicopter if you want. "No, we're not gonna take care of you anymore." It's like, why? And I understood that probably it was they did like two mistakes. They gave me two MRIs without the shot. And I don't know if they were afraid of me, like saying, that's a pretty big error twice. But anyway, they sent me to this best hospital over here in Montreal, Le Chum, and that's the place you want to be. So I was okay. So that it was like an incredible news, but it was like rough news, but a good news because I knew that I was going to be in good hands over there. So I asked I asked Rosie, when are they gonna call me? Because keep in mind, it's the pandemic. Now it would be in March 2021. And she said, "Oh, usually it takes a pretty long time to transfer a files like this from an hospital to another. But since it's a pandemic, we don't know." That's like, okay. And keep in mind, I've been waiting since July. I've got these symptoms since July 2019. So now we're in 2021, and I have no clue what's in my brain. But they know there's something wrong with me, but they are unable to tell me. Anyway, so I wait another. I think I waited another year. Yeah, I waited until March. It took a year. It took another year from March 2021 to March 2022 for me to get call from another neurologist from Le Chum. Uh, I was happy, and it's funny because we were afraid about cancer or a sickness that kills you slowly. And my girlfriend says, Phil, if it would be a brain tumor or cancer, you'd already be dead. So I said, geez, you're right. Am I? So I pinched me a few, grabbed her boobies, and said, I'm still alive. So, so I was happy about that. Anyway, so they called me, and I sat down with that neurologist for an hour and a half, and I talked to her. I told her my story, and she came up with the diagnostic that I've got today. And it's trouble neurologique fonctionnel, which is in English it's something neurology. I'm not dead yet, just like Phil Collins. Anyway, it's something that got several symptoms like memory loss, confusion. It resembles a lot to epilepsy, but it's not. So they call it non neurologic functional disorder. Thank you very much. That's exactly it in English. Merci, André. Um, so it's like having seizures. Uh, I always feel every day like I'm standing on a boat. You know, when you go fishing and you're standing on the canoe, and it always feels like you're not feeling like stay. So that's 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. But it get worse. I call them waves, but they call it non epileptic seizures. They're like epileptic seizures, but they are not. People think that epileptic seizures, are sea legs. Yeah. André, tu m'enverras ton bill. It's a private, you know. Um, so about 3 to 4 times a week, I've got these non-epileptic seizures, but they're not something like you see in the movies. It's like I'm not falling on the floor and like with foam coming out of my mouth and my ears and my eyes. I just don't feel well at all. So uh, dizziness, confusion, and it can last like several hours, but it can last days. The longest that it lasted very intense was like 3 days. And just to give you an idea, today was a really rough day for me, and I was afraid of that I would not be able to do this correctly. I get speech problems. Sometimes I'm looking for the words that I say, or I just forgot how to speak. I'm not able to speak, literally. Anyway, so that's the story. Now I've got this. I know what I have for since 1 year, and I'm still not back at work. And I love my work. I've been working at the place that I enjoyed, and I've called it my second home because I spend more time at my job in this college that I spend time at my personal houses that I had in the last 30 years. And I love everyone that I work with. I do an amazing job. I do what I love. I create movies. I make movies. I'm in a creation job, creative job. Anyway, so where is the vintage kids coming from? That's now you know the reason what happened in the last several years. So I was home. Sometimes I was okay. Sometimes I'm okay. Sometimes I'm not at all. But I'm not the kind of guy that can stand and do nothing. When I do nothing, it's because I really don't feel well. So I had to do something. And as you guys probably know, I started selling on eBay back in 1999, 1980, 1998 when it started. And I did this for 8 years, and I opened a eBay store back in the days that the name was Yoda's Workshop. So when my daughter was born, and the economy changed over in Canada and the US, whatever, I'm not going to go through this. And eBay allowed stores to jump in so it was not the same game. So I've stopped. I literally like took a break. I never really stopped selling on eBay, but I took a real break out of it because I used to sell a lot of stuff on eBay back in the days. So I didn't close my eBay store, but I think everything changed when I stopped for several years. So what I did, I just took out some of my boxes. As you can see, I live with those boxes. I've got a lot of those boxes in the house. And I took several boxes and I realized that I still had a lot of Star Wars stuff. And I took the time to check everything on Facebook, and I found those amazing groups. And I created Yoda's Workshop Facebook group, like all the other group, like the IC, like Besbin Prime, like our two friends or whatever. I said, I can do this. I can, and I've got the knowledge. It's gonna give me something to do when I feel okay. So that's what I did, and I started to collect again. I started to make new friends. I started to had amazing friends. So. Roughly half of the podcasts, I haven't understood a word at all. James, I love you, man. You're not gonna win something tonight. I'm sorry. Perhaps a T-shirt. Yeah, let's do this, man. Okay, James, are you still here? All right. What's your T-shirt size? What's your T-shirt size? Large, medium. It's a French joke, by the way. I know. What's your size, buddy? Seriously, what's your medium? All right. So send me your address on in private message, and you know what? You just won something. You just won. My dog is happy about it. That's a large. That's a large. We still have medium. That's a large. I only have large. No, medium. All right. There you go. So send me your address, because you know what? You just won yourself a Yoda's Workshop t-shirt. That is brand new. Smells like workshop. So yeah, I'm not kidding. You just won yourself a Yoda's Workshop t-shirt. I pay for shipping. Just send me your address. Congratulations, man. Si. Moi, je porte du large. All right. So, James, I'm not kidding. send me your address. I'm gonna send you this. I'm sending stuff probably by Friday. So I'm gonna ship you the your winnings. Because you have to know that James. I think he was born with uh, like in magical leaves or something because he wins everything when he plays on something. I mean, I'm telling him every week, man. I hope you played the lottery this week. He probably won several times the lottery and just didn't tell me about it. Anyway, so back to what I was saying. Uh, so I created Yoda's workshop, and I don't remember why, but I think it might be my girlfriend Audrey or maybe my father-in-law just privileged James is no problem, buddy. I'm gonna ship this to you with a special gift. Okay. James is an old friend. Jimmy V is actually like a brother that you've never met, but you know he's your brother, but you never met him. All right. Okay. I don't have kids size. I would have shipped one for little V's, but I only have adults for now. Okay. So I decided someone. I don't think it was me, but I said I should do a podcast because uh, I love to talk. When I can talk, I talk a lot. Uh, and and I said I got so much stuff that I can talk about. I know so much stuff, useless stuff, Star Wars stuff, Simpsons stuff, and what I've loved also on other groups was the fact that it was not only about Star Wars. And I'm not only about Star Wars. I love other stuff. I grew up with Transformers. My last storyline was Transformers. I grew up with the $6 Million Man toys. And I said, there's so much stuff I can talk about that I would have something to talk about every week. So let's do this. Let's try it. And I said to myself, if it's not working, who cares? I'm not doing this. No one's asking me to do this. No one's paying me to do this. I don't have an obligation to a company to do this. I'm doing this in my house. So I said, let's try it. Let's try it. And we're at episode 50. So I mean, it's been a year. I would have to check when it was the first time. I've always been full of pizza. Well, it's a better thing than being full of shit, my friend. Oh my god. Full of worthless music knowledge. Yeah, I know. And I've told this before in the past, Greg. My mother always told me, do you realize the knowledge that you have just only on The Simpsons? Useless knowledge? If it would be in a neurologist or something medical, I would be like a award-winning doctor. I said, I don't want to be a doctor. I want some stupid knowledge. I'm writing you your check right now. Oh my god. Okay. So, what basically happened is I knew several subjects that I wanted to talk about. I wanted to talk about vintage stuff because I knew that a lot of my friends from other groups or the IC or the MMC or whatever uh, are two friends and stuff. Dennis Hall, Robin Broca. I can name tons of people in the U.S. that I have the chance to talk with. That they know so much and they talk about so much stuff that I said I can do this too, and it's gonna give me something to do and not think about my stupid brain and not thinking and not worrying so much about what's wrong with me. So it gave me that chance to go away because some days it's really hard for me to prepare this thing when I try to analyze uh, like episodes of shows, or I want to talk about more deeper stuff, it's hard because when I have rough days, like I said, they call it again non-epileptic seizures. Uh, Today was a rough day. I didn't prepare anything, so it was all in my head. So uh, useless knowledge is a lost art. Thank you, Google. I want to see this on a T-shirt, Ian. Field neurologist would say, "Yeah, about that." Yeah, about that. March, I'd like to be alone with a sandwich for a moment. Oh my god. So it gave me a reason. Uh, it gave me a reason to have something because I got several things during the week that I expect. I can't wait to be spending time with my MMC family. I can't wait to spend time with my own family. And all during this, my dad died of cancer. So it's funny because I went back to the hospital several months ago, and they said, "So, is everything okay?" I said, "Yeah, my dad actually died without knowing what was wrong with me." At least he knew he had cancer. But we're laughing about it because it's okay, because my dad died like on a long period and it was rough, but it was okay. So it's just sad that he never knew that I'm going to be okay with this. I'm going to have to live with this because there's nothing to do for this except living with it and hoping that I'm going to be okay with living it by living with it. So anyway, so so now I'm in this process of people are like insurance and my job and our doctors are like talking, is he gonna go back to work because there's a chance he could, he's not reliable, this guy's not reliable at all, man. So anyway, I might end up not working anymore, so I'm gonna do this full time. That's going to be my work. That's okay because there's no pressure by doing this. um this is why sometimes there's a few weeks that I posted a video and said, this week I've got something. There will be no vintage kids because I know that I don't feel good enough. Anyway, so we'll see what's going to happen in the future. But one thing is for sure, we're at episode 50 and I don't have the intention to stop. Donc on est à l'épisode 50 puis j'ai pas l'intention d'arrêter. That's the reason why I said several times, you guys don't realize how much this hours that I spend with you is important in my life because I'm having fun and it's fun and I forget, and I was able to stop worrying. I don't worry anymore about what I have because I know what I have. And I know that there's nothing that we can do about it. I have to live with it. It might get better. It should not get worse. So that's okay. Like I said, I'm not going to die of this. So that's great news. It's not cancer. It's not something that in 5 years is going to be worse. I'm going to die one day, but not out of this. I might get hit by a bus. uh, Ah, man. André, c'est cool hein, aussi, de t'avoir les semaines. C'est le fun. Je parle avec la gang du secondaire, man. Je parle avec Kathleen, je parle avec Luigi tout le temps. Là, je veux organiser quelque chose chez nous, là, justement. Anyway. So it's fun. It's fun. It's fun because I see what Michael does with the ICCC. I see what he did with all the IC groups. With I see what Dennis and, like I said, Robin and other people, Bill Cable and every one of these guys, they're not paid by Lucas. They're not there to make money. They're there so we can have fun. And I said to myself, I can do this. I can do this. And it's going to be good for me because I love spending time with them. I love spending time with people like me that enjoy nerdy stuff, geek stuff, and Star Wars and whatever, toys. We understand each other. We're talking the same language. So I said, I can do my part. And I want to do it my part. But I'm going to do it my way. And I'm not going to be sad if I'm not going to be disappointed and if it's not working. That's the big thing. I don't care about numbers. I don't care about viewers, numbers of viewers, or how many times someone's gonna hit the button. I'm not doing this for that reason at all. So people are saying you're wasting your time, man. You don't have a lot of viewers. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. It brings me joy. And I've posted something on Facebook. If you are a friend of mine on Facebook, you probably saw it. And I thought it was amazing. It's Robin Williams once said, and if you know me, you know that Robin Williams is a god for me. And I was so sad when he passed. And the thing said, I don't, the line was about saying this, that I don't know how much I'm worth. I don't know how people like me, but all I know that is that I was able to make other people's life better because they've met me. So I made them laugh. I made their day better. And that's all I need to feel good about myself. I thought it's amazing, and it really rings a bell for me because I always try to make people laugh. If you've already met me, I'm always saying stupid stuff, even in funerals. Trust me, I whatever, wherever the place, whatever the subject, it's hard for me not to say stupid stuff. So, and people are like, man, did you really say that in that context? I said, yeah. And people say, that was great, man. Oh, man. So yeah, so that's the story behind the Vintage Kids. And I just love it. And like I said, even if one day there's no viewers, I think I'm going to keep on doing this because I'm having fun. I'm having fun. And I talk about stuff that I love and I'm passionate about. And it fills my life with joy. So I want to talk about the way I feel hanging out with these movies and universes and toys and people like you guys and people like in other groups and people all around the world. So yeah. So did I thought it would go all the way to episode 50? Not at all. Do I expect to reach 100? Not at all. I don't know. I hope so, but I like it again. I'm not doing this for numbers. I'm surprised that I've been doing this for a year. I'm surprised that you guys show up. I'm surprised that people are watching this even after, when they miss it, they go watch it afterwards. I mean, okay, that's cool. And I know that there's tons of subjects that I'm going to talk about that I've already talked about that people don't care. And I totally understand because I'm not, like I said, I'm not only talking about Star Wars. So in a few weeks, we're going to talk about hockey cards. We're going to talk about whatever. I want to talk about The Walking Dead. And I don't assume that there'll be tons of people watching because I don't even know if you guys love The Walking Dead. But I've just watched the 11th season, so I have something to talk about. I have my opinion to give. And I have to analyze this because, like I said, that's what I did in school. I've learned how to make movies. I've learned how to analyze them. I learned how to write movies and shoot them and edited them, and that's what I do. That's what I've been doing for all my life. So, and it's because of Star Wars. Can you believe it? It's really because I saw Star Wars as a kid and I said, man, I want to do those things. So many people decided to go into the movie business because of Star Wars, and I'm one of them. And I'm that French frog Canadian up north that just hate lovely snow and just dreams to be in Florida for a few months during winter. But you can keep your hurricanes. Is there any hurricane that was called Phil? Hurricane Phil is coming. Ça prend un épisode sur chips. Ouais, man, you're totally right. But Andre de Gendron. Just, I presume it's Andre because I don't, yeah. Just talk about chips, and he's totally right. I think I've already talked about it. It was one of my favorite shows as a kid. But anyway, we might do yeah, that would be great to do a story, an episode on other vintage toys that actually includes chips. I've got some chips toys, mint on card figures, man. I was able to find some of them, and they look fucking amazing, lovely, amazing. Anyway, so guys, yeah, can you believe it? I've been talking about this crazy story of mine for the last hour. So, yeah, all right, for winter, Canada, our winters aren't winter lately. Yeah, I know. Well, over here, it's been pretty smooth winters lately in the last few years because anyway, and I'm not going to talk about this for a long time, but you have to check what is actually happening is that the couranger, I have no idea how to say it in English, the cold weather from the Arctic is actually descending, going down on our province of Quebec. So that's the reason why it's getting warmer everywhere in the world, except over here we're getting cold weathers, and because that cold weather from the Arctic is actually shifting down on us. Anyway, but we've got some really warm winter in the last few years. But I still hate snow. I used to be a hockey player. I played hockey for a long time, and it was probably the only reason why I loved winter as a teenager, because I would go play hockey outside. But as a kid, we used to play in the snow all the time, and that was okay. But nowadays, if I show up and start playing with kids in the snow, they're going to call the cops. There's a pedophile right there. He's playing with my boy. I just want to play in the snow. Go back in your house, sir. Anyway, so that's about it. Thank you very much for being here every week. And don't worry if you guys aren't able to join us. That's okay. I'm not mad. I'm not sad. Like I said, I did some episode with a single viewer sometimes, and it's okay. It's okay. And I'm gonna keep on doing them as long as I feel good about it, and I've got something to tell, and I always have something to tell. And now that I've got my diagnostic, I will be able to go to the ICCC next year. And I'm telling you guys, I just can't wait to meet some of you. Like I said, I even checked to see how I could go to Wisconsin and meet Kirk and the Carlsons. But it's expensive, and I'm not rich. People will say, "Wow, you've got some great stuff, Phil. You must be rich." No, I'm far from being rich. I haven't been working for the last 4 years, so trust me, I'm not rich at all. So anyway, so thank you again, and next week we're probably gonna talk about The Walking Dead. And if you have any suggestions, you have any questions, you have something to bring to the table, I'm always open to listen to you guys. Um, so let's all celebrate this 50th episode with Phil's new brain friend. He's talking to me, doctor. Please make it stop. Oh my God. I love you guys. I really do. And it's really sincere. Love you all. It's always, always, always fun. Um, Walking Dead memes. Well, I haven't talked about this, but I love to do those pictures with my faces on actors. So I'm probably gonna do one on The Walking Dead or several of them. Anyway, we'll see. So thank you again for joining me. As I always say every week, be safe, be good, be wild, be you. Have fun. Life is short, very short. It goes so quickly. I'm home, and I don't see the weeks go by. I just turn around, and I have to get myself to bed because the day is over. Yeah, and Jimmy V is in the house, and if you missed it, believe it or not, he won something. All right, it was rigged. It was rigged, but he won. Jimmy V actually won a Yoda's Workshop T-shirt that I'm gonna send him. And probably gonna send him several things for the little V's as well, because they're just great. So I love you all. Yeah, he did. Yeah, I'm telling you, man. He really did. He won something. So, guys, some of you will be able to see each other tomorrow. And that's it. Thank you again. So, see you next week. See you tomorrow for some of you. I don't know what else to say than thank you. Thank you very much. So, be safe, be good, be wild, be you. Have a great week. Your wife's for me. Don't tell Audrey, and don't tell Kirk. Bye, everyone. See you next week. Take care.